Good morning and welcome to the iRacing GT Endurance Series. I'm DJ Fluck alongside my broadcast partner Taka Timmerman. This is iRacing's very first attempt at a team racing event. And it is very early on the West Coast. In fact, just after 2 o'clock in the morning. It's just after 5 a.m. on the East Coast with our drivers. So let's take a look at the track and then we'll head over to the driver lineup. So we're here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio, 2.25 miles, 15 turns. Notable is the key hole at turn 4. So currently the qualification has us starting as a team at 23rd, and we'll be racing for 180 minutes, and we're starting to move, so we're going to get to the track. Good morning, Taka. We are live on the air.
Good morning.
We are underway with Hunter Hughes, our Wednesday night dash regular, who joined us last season during the truck season. Will be taking the first hour. And probably Erik Richardson will be in the second hour, and Mark Vicars, who's currently having technical problems, hopefully should be back for the third hour. Mark's trying to restart his router. Hopefully this doesn't turn into a two-person drive. Oh, if I put the game audio on.
Good morning, guys.
Erik Richardson joins us in the booth. Good morning, Erik.
Yeah, we got Hunter starting off here. Figured just jump over and chat with you a little bit here. I think I'm going to be driving the second here, so I got a little bit of time.
We were just talking about Mark Vicars having some technical issues this morning. I think he was originally planned to kick us off on this session, but he's working on his router last I heard.
Yeah, trying to get the internet figured out. Technology, it's awesome when it works and hate it when it doesn't.
Yeah, you actually were dealing with some internet problems of your own recently.
Yeah, I just moved and trying to figure out what was going to work. I was a little worried I was not even going to be able to drive.
So since starting 23rd, Hunter has moved his way into 16th place right now. He's making good progress through the field.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good. I think for all of us, it's just a big learning experience right now. Do we just kind of sit back and drive? Do we try to make some passes? Or when's the good time to make a move?
Just looking through at some of the drive teams laps, we're seeing somewhere between 121 and about 127, 128. I did see a 133, one of the drivers. So here's a look at your drive team. Looks like we're having a little issues with that graphic. We'll have to take a look at, but as I mentioned, Hunter Hughes has kicked off the run for the first hour. We're 5 minutes into the 3 hours. Making good progress, working his way up to 14th now. He sits about 3 seconds behind the lead.
Our current plan is to run each of us for an hour. In testing, we figured we're about an hour and 10 minutes possibly on max fuel load, so we're splitting it out a little short of that.
Going on board with Hunter right now. So Eric, tell us a little bit about practicing in one of these cars. This was something that's pretty new to you. You haven't been in a. There goes a car off the track in front of Hunter. He's going to gain a position, maybe not. This has been new to you, a completely different type of driving. How has the practicing been going?
This new Mercedes AMG is a lot of fun to drive. It's got a lot of grip to it. Definitely a lot different than the Indy cars that I'm typically running.
Currently, the number 8 of Christian Lezak sits directly in front of Hunter. I've seen him slip a couple of times. He went off track once and lost a lot of time. There goes Kiko Russo in the Ferrari number 10 past Hunter.
That's a sharp-looking Ferrari there with that almost Italian scheme.
It looks like Russo is joining us from Italy this morning, or I guess it'd be this afternoon in Italy.
My biggest question mark when I get out into my drive is just running in traffic. I haven't had too much with that yet. It's been mostly clear laps.
At least in the cars right now, we only have 2 Americans in the field, with one being Hunter, and Christian Lezak in the number 8, who we saw a little earlier, is the other American in the field. I mean, we have a pretty international group. A lot of Australians, a lot of European Union here. There's actually somebody from Japan in this event this morning.
It's still one of the really cool things with iRacing. It's not just local. You can race people all over the world. And you really see different driving styles too from where people come from.
Looking through the roster right now, there are a lot of Class A drivers here. Few Bs. Currently 2 Class C drivers in the field, with Hunter being one of them. So this is a pretty skilled group.
And I think it was either Mark or Hunter said the average rating on the field was over 2,000. And this is our great introduction for getting ready for that 24 hours at Daytona.
Looks like we had a car off the track. I didn't quite catch the number of it as we were passing by. Yeah, key thoughts so far. If you look at the track map, they are still packed pretty tightly together, considering that we're 9 laps into this event, and we currently have about 20 cars all on the same lap. Overall, it's been pretty competitive. I mean, there's definitely a huge difference in the lap times between the top tier and the 18, 19, 20, but not as much as you might think. Only about 2.5 seconds.
And it's definitely been fun just watching these first 10 laps so far. And it does seem that the cars trail pretty well with each other. See that green wheel Lamborghini is trying to figure out a way around Hunter right now.
It's driven by Thomas Silbernagel of Germany. Or it could be of Switzerland. The iRacing doesn't give a country breakdown in parts of Europe, but they're part of the German, Swiss region, Austria region as well. Not quite enough there from Silbernagel. He was close, but Hunter held him off.
Yeah, stuff like that is my biggest fear when I come up here. It's just how to handle the passing and the traffic.
You just do what you do and worry about what's in front of you, not what's behind you.
Mark Vicars has joined us. Mark, did you get your router situation taken care of?
Oh man, I'm struggling hard, so I just reset everything. Loaded back into iRacing with my fingers crossed, turned everything off in the house that runs on Wi-Fi.
Fortunately, you're in the 2 o'clock hour just like I am. Hopefully that doesn't mean much at this hour of the day.
I mean, you think that it would be good this time of day with, everyone still sleeping.
Looks like a car might have hit hard. I think I saw him hit the escape button.
Looks like it may have been the 521 of Keegan Sutton Baker. He was hanging with the group, and then looks like he just dropped off the track. Yeah, the problem with prepping for one of these events as a broadcaster and not knowing who's going to be in the field, and then you get a whole roster of people from around the world. I'm going to be botching names left and right today.
Looks like there might have been a small little net code. Saw a 0x car contact pop up.
Alright, looks like the quality's still the same. Sitting at 80, so I guess I'm just gonna wait her out until, 4 o'clock? And it is what it is. If I blink, I blink.
Now I am excited to see just how much I can learn in the hour of being on track in a field like this.
All right, guys, my ping is back into the green. I'm at 98.
Nice.
All right, it's back up. All right, it's back to normal. What in the heck was that all about? Sorry to throw off the rotation like that.
Yeah, all good.
I'm over here posting Instagram stories at 2:30 a.m. Makes me glad that when I was younger that Instagram wasn't around or not around to what it is today. Whoa, we got a car off the track.
Whoa, whoa.
It looks like the Ferrari of Kiko Russo and Thomas Silbernagel got together, but it looks like everybody's back on the track and rolling again.
I'm actually watching the onboard from Rampazzo from the Italian job, who's leading the race.
We can do that too. Rampazzo is running a pretty consistent event. He's on his 19th lap. Best time of 121.7, and his last time out he was 122.07. So that's pretty darn consistent. I've lost count of how many cones have been hit so far this morning just on what I've seen, but I love how after about 5 seconds of the cone bouncing around, it magically pops right back into place again.
On the backstretch coming out of the keyhole, when I've been practicing, I've made it a goal to try to clip a cone where Hunter's coming up to there. I made a 7-10 split one day.
As long as your foot wasn't on the line.
So I think I'm going to jump out of the chat here. Got about a half hour and stretch my legs out a little bit and get ready to jump in.
Thanks for stopping by the booth, and good luck, Erik. Erik will be taking hour 2 of the 3-hour race, and he'll be relieving Hunter in about a half hour.
Check in here shortly.
As we complete the first half hour of the event, I think we're going to take a 1-minute ad break, so we'll be back in a moment. Or maybe not. Twitch is telling me I gotta wait another 20 minutes before I do that, so just kidding.
Probably should have asked this while Erik was online, but what's the fuel burn and the tire wear like, especially driving on a road course like this?
That's an excellent question. So I think during the testing, Hunter was fairly confident he was going to be able to get through his full hour without needing to stop for fuel, if I remember correctly. Tire wear, on the other hand, we didn't really get into that much. Hunter now has been running for a little over a half hour. So far, I haven't seen too many issues with his tires, but I don't have a good feel for what it currently is dealing with. Maybe I can figure that out. Let me check my dashboard here. I guess not.
You can ask him when he finishes his hour of racing. Hopefully he can hop on here and talk to us. Potentially tell us what was going through his head when he was racing.
Yeah, I think he's going to be hopping in here as soon as he's done, so it'll be interesting to get his perspective on what he saw out there during his hour.
Hey, he's been doing really, really good. Wednesday Night Dash, I get to watch him race, and it's been a lot of fun. And watch him take a whole hour of racing is even better. Especially racing as a team. It's really cool. And then another question I got for you. When the drivers switch, do they have to go into the pits and switch?
Yeah, it's just like a real event. They'll pit, and then they'll do the driver switch while they're in the pit stall, and assuming they'll take their stop at the same time, and then off goes Erik.
Sweet. Thank you.
see the number 15 car is hitting the pit. Looks like might have our have a driver switch coming up. Currently shows Michael Jones. Yes, indeed, we have a driver switch. Michael Jones in the number 15 BMW has traded places, and it looks like he will be replaced by Adam Bates.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I wonder if there's a strategy behind having I don't know how to put it, but new driver behind the wheel.
I mean, obviously, when you pit and following the pit speed limits and the changes, you know, you're looking at losing potentially a lap on the change. You know, there's a minimum, I believe it's either 2 or 3 for this event, but I think you can have up to 6 if I remember correctly. So, yeah, there's definitely risk, but at the same time, you know, if there's an issue with focus or, you know, fresh tires out there, you know, that those definitely will play in. And yep, here comes the number 15 car with Adam Bates back onto the track. So yeah, he looks like he lost a full lap during that driver change. So we don't know. We don't have the full rosters with us, so we don't know how many people are on the 15 team. So you know, maybe it's just 3 of them, and they decided that they're going to switch off every you know, 35-40 minutes or so. But we shall see. It'll be something to watch.
Heaven and Hell Racing, that's totally on you.
So the radio chatter turned off. Well, let's go back and take a look at the track while I check on the radio settings here. I didn't realize I had the driver radio turned on, but fact that we were almost 40 minutes into the session before we saw somebody yell at somebody is pretty unreal.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I guess everyone knows what they're doing, or keeping calm. If they get too heated, they might spin out the car. And VRS race is a long race.
I also had the radio chart hidden, so I couldn't even see who that was who yelled. So we have quite a few Australians with us today. Currently, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 11 of the 28 cars are currently driven by Australians at the moment.
Kind of fun to hear some yelling and some accents, maybe even in a different language.
first cup of coffee is down. So on that note, we'll do a quick shout out to a sponsor here. So Player One Coffee has been a supporter of FR Racing since the very beginning. Check out frracingonline.com/Player One Coffee and get yourself a 5% off coupon for your first order. This coffee is fantastic. I'm drinking the Leroy Jenkins. They have several different coffees to choose from. Pretty reasonably priced coffee, also very, very good. So for those in the world of the Keurig, you can actually buy the little refillable Keurig pods, put your Player One coffee right in there, put them right in your machine. That's what I do every morning. So Player One Coffee. We're also excited to announce we are recently joining forces with Extreme Sim Racing. I had the opportunity to try out the Extreme Racing wheel stand, which can actually be expanded into a full rig. In my case, I don't have a lot of real estate in my driving space, so I'm starting with a wheel stand at my desk, and once I can clear out some space, we'll start expanding on that and turn it into a full rig someday. But this stand is rock solid. I had an off-brand stand that I purchased from a large retailer, and it just wobbled like crazy. It drove me nuts. And the first thing I noticed with this stand, rock solid. This thing does not wobble. It's got a built-in cup holder. It's just awesome. We also have a lot of great add-ons and mods for your G920 and G29, G923 Logitech kits, including the pedal kits. I actually run that pedal kit myself. I purchased that a few months ago. Again, fantastic products, great customer service. Check out Extreme Sim Racing.
It looks like the lead pack caught up to Hunter.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say that. So Hunter is only a couple seconds back of getting caught by the leaders. We can see that tire wear is starting to become a problem. His lap times the last couple times out have dropped off by a few seconds. So we're almost 45 minutes into the session. He's losing about 2 or 3 seconds a lap. So that gives us an idea of how long these tires are going to hold up.
Will this be the car that will be racing 24 hours?
Yes, indeed. So we kind of announced this on FR Racing's Garage Talk yesterday. The replay will be up on YouTube here in about 14 hours or so. But you can check out the replay now on our Twitch channel. Not right now. Watch this, but later you can go check out Garage Talk, where we sat down with Erik, Hunter, and Mark and talked about this event. But coming up, we're going to be doing a 10-hour at Road Atlanta, which I think is in October or November. And then, the big event is the Daytona 24-hour race, which, if you watch it in real life, you know it as the Rolex 24 right now. And that will be sometime in January, although I don't think we have a date yet for that event. Obviously, if you're racing for 24 hours, you're going to have more than three people on the team. So we actually have a couple of our Wednesday night drivers who are not able to attend today that should be joining us for that 24-hour event and for the 10 hours. So really cool that we've turned Wednesday Night Dash and now we're competing together on the same team. Just a bunch of people that we met randomly through social media, through blog posts, just random places where this whole group has come together, which has been amazing experience. So Wednesday Night Dash will be back September 7th, 10 p.m. Eastern. Our broadcast starts at 10:15 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be driving 8 races with the ARCA cars.
All the recruiting races we had have been really, really fun to watch, especially with the ARCA cars. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun this season of Wednesday Night Dash.
And the ARCA cars, they can be a challenge to drive at times. We're actually coming to Mid-Ohio, I believe, week 3 in late September, I believe. So we'll be back here in the ARCA cars, and those cars are not as forgiving as these GT3 cars are. So it's going to be an adventure.
Oh, I'm always looking forward to watching Wednesday Night Dash.
Yeah, our first recruiting race, if you missed that, we went to Auto Club Speedway, and we had a big wreck in the first 2 laps, and one of the drivers who we did not know before that event got caught up in it, and he got upset and decided that after he repaired his car, he was going to come out and try to take out the leaders. And by the time we caught on to his little mess, we've got Harijo, hopefully I'm saying that right, moving in on Hunter, but Hunter holds him off. So as I was saying, oops, somebody crashed. I just heard that. Oh, there it is. Yep, there it is. Somebody went off and hit hard. Might have been the number 5 of Thomas Silbernagel again. Oh yeah, so we had a rogue driver come in and try to take out our leaders and wreck 2 of them, and had to boot them. That kind of ruined the first event, but the following recruiting race at Daytona went much smoother. Good banter on the radio. We had 28 drivers show up to that. I mean, it was an awesome event.
Yeah, my favorite part was probably the radio chat and the recruiting races. Just really, really fun to hear what others are thinking about race strategy and what they wanted to do. And venting their frustrations, I guess would be the best way to put it. Letting the others know that they're not too happy. That it's kind of the fun part about listening in on the radio chatter.
But the thing is with the Daytona race, though, the banter back and forth was actually pretty friendly. I mean, it wasn't, profanity-filled insults like we see on some events, but it also seemed like, too, I think some of these guys knew each other going into the event. The way they were insulting each other, some of the drivers, it was very clear that they raced with each other based on the reaction of the people and how they were being insulted, which I guess is kind of cool. But good banter on the radio. It was insulting, but it wasn't offensive, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah, that's true. I think that was the best part about the radio chatter on Daytona. Just it was there, but it was friendly, and it was just really fun to watch and listen to.
The one of the cars that was leading quite a few of the laps during the race, every time he'd take the lead, somebody would insult him and say, "Oh no, this guy's leading. He's gonna wreck everybody." And he'd laugh about it. We'd get a little defensive, but it was clear that it was playful banter. And then towards the end of the race, he actually caused a fairly big wreck. And then it was like, I told you so, I told you so.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was pretty funny. I just wanted to confirm, Marker Cars will be back on Wednesday Night Dash here at Mid-Ohio on September 21st.
Yep, so race week 3. So we're starting out at Chicago and then going on to Kansas. So gonna keep it pretty light on those 1.5 tracks, and we're gonna get into this pretty lightly. We're not gonna hit the short tracks too quickly. We're not gonna hit the road course right away. So it's I'm excited about this. This is gonna be I think this will be a good season. Hunter is currently sitting 14th, but right now we're going to go and hop in and follow the other American. It's currently Christian Lezak in the number 8, so we're going to hop over there and see how Christian is doing. Yeah, one of the nice things about this, we're using SDK iRacing live timing here, and it has a driver info bar that you can pop up, but the problem with it is you have to fill out the form and put your information into the database, otherwise it doesn't really say much about you other than your name and your car number. But when it is, everybody fills it out. It provides a lot of good information about each of the drivers.
That's pretty cool. Pretty sweet too.
I don't know why the timing, but it's showing Hunter is out. I don't know if we got to change. Let's go check ahead and see what happened. Well, the theme of the morning is technology is great when it works, as Mark Vicars said a little while ago. There it goes. It was showing Hunter is out. Now it says that he's only a lap down, so that looks more accurate. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, the graphics look cool, so I'll take that. The small bugs and issues we have. Looks like we got about 5 minutes until they switch. And we'll get to see Erik racing.
So it looks like we're about 4 minutes away from a driver change. So we'll see how this goes. This is, I know the team practiced with some of the driver changes and getting them ready to go. Erik standing by to take on the second hour.
Looks like he was slipping out with the tire wear being pretty low. A couple of the corners and the turns.
His last time by, he was a 1:24.94. His best lap of the day so far was 1:23.56. Erik, Erik, he said he hasn't had a lot of experience on this track with other cars on the track, but he said on his own he's been doing around 1:25, 1:26. So we'll see how that goes for him. And then Mark, on the other hand, originally Mark was supposed to go first, but with his technical problems, he ended up having to switch with Hunter and take the third shift. So Mark said he's been practicing at around a 1:21, 1:22 range. So, if Erik, can hold it on. There goes Thomas Silbernagel. We've been following Hunter left and right this entire time. But yeah, if Erik can hold it, Mark should come out and pull some track position, see if they can pull themselves into the top 10 in the last segment. So Hunter is short of something bad happening. Hunter, it looks like he's going to hold about 13th place when he pulls off for the driver change.
It's pretty amazing considering he had to drive through all the traffic in the beginning.
So
Really looking forward to him hopping onto into the booth and talking to us about what he thought about the first hour of racing.
So Erik has just informed me that we'll be changing drivers in 3 laps. So that should put Hunter at about 42 laps for his hour run. Overall, I'd say it's been a very successful run for him.
For the 10-hour race and the 24-hour race, will we be able to see you driving in it?
That's to be determined. The reason I'm not participating is I've probably run about 10 laps in one of these cars total. So I was definitely not prepared for this event. I've been primarily focusing on trying to be as competitive as I can on Wednesday Night Dash. So I've sat this one out, but we could. Alright, looks like Hunter is about to finish his 42nd lap. And here he comes. Hunter is entering the pits. It looks like this is going to be the end of the day for him. Oops. Uh-oh, he overdrove the pit stall. Oh! Yeah, he way overdrove the pit stall. Oops. Driver change is made. Erik Richardson has taken the wheel.
Car's thirsty, keeps drinking gas. looks like.
While we're waiting to complete the driver change, I think we're going to take a 1-minute ad break. So we'll be back. All right, we are back at Mid-Ohio. Got an hour and 58 minutes to go in the session. Erik Richardson has taken the wheel for FR Racing. So looking at our timing, during that change, lost about 2 laps, but currently sitting about 17th right now. It's clear some of these drivers, I'm still seeing the same names in here. We haven't seen a driver change yet for some of them. But I think we should be seeing them soon, if not already.
Do you think anyone's to race the whole 3 hours by themselves?
No, I think there's actually a limit that you have to have a minimum. I think it's a minimum of 2, if I remember correctly for this. I think it's minimum 2, maximum 6.
I can't imagine sitting there driving for 3 hours straight, especially with much focus you need to put into the corners at the right spot. Make sure you brake and accelerate through the corners and the straightaways, and navigating through traffic and not interrupting others' races and keeping your lane. I definitely do know for a fact that I could not do that. Not enough caffeine in the world to keep me focused for that long.
Yeah, that's part of my concern. I like the Wednesday night dash setup. We're racing for about 45 minutes. We cut it into 2 segments. For somebody with attention problems sometimes, yeah, that I know exactly where you're coming from.
I just can't imagine being a actual, like, in-person racer in an actual car, driving with all the G-forces and just feeling the physical toll of the car pulling you left, right, backwards, forwards. And sure, with a long race like this in real life, you got the glare, you got the weather, just all the elements. And you have to think about that while you race, and you realize how hard it is and much work they have to do and prep work.
The most important thing is when you trash a sim racing car, oh well, you trash a real car, someone's going to be upset at you.
That's true. That is very true.
Oops.
That's close.
That was a close call. That's actually the 9th position car driven by Brenton West right now, and he gets by Erik. Brenton has been pretty quick in his segment. He's been between 122.15 and 123 this whole time out, so consistently fast in that top 10. Erik ran a
Looks like
one.
most of the. Go ahead.
Erik ran a 128.19. He's looks like he's working his way up. He was in the 130s to start with. So Erik is looks like he's taking it pretty conservatively, and for his first time out, I can't blame him.
Yeah, and also watching Hunter race earlier, being long term with the tires, and that it might be for the best to run it too hard at the beginning, just because you got long race ahead. I was gonna say, it looks like the top 10 have been under the 124 mark most of this race, and I don't know how many of them switched out or if any of them have yet. They're holding a pretty strong pace, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, for the most part, it looks like the top 10 have all switched out now. I'm seeing names across the board where it varies pretty significantly. So, again, a lot of Australians in this event. Europe is pretty well represented, and the other American in the 8 is Sean Reddy. So we got 2 Americans in this event right now, currently sitting 14th, and Erik is currently sitting 18th.
Hello, how's it going?
Hunter, hey, that was a great run out there.
Thank you. I was having some troubles though, because my pedals have been having a bit of issues. So I could only get, with my foot being 100% of the way down, it was only registering like 75 to 80% throttle on like the straightaways. So
What kind of setup do you have for your pedals?
it's just the Logitech, like, cause I have a G29 and it's just the Logitech pedals. And it was like flutter, it would always like flutter during the whenever I was like trying to go 100% throttle. So
Yeah, I've noticed. I run the G920. Erik, I know, runs the G29, and Logitech has had there was a firmware update recently that came out for that series. I mean, it's a good starter unit. Don't get me wrong. I mean, especially for the money you pay. But yeah, there was a firmware update some months back that seemed to mess things up more than fix problems for people.
yeah, I want to upgrade to Thrustmaster soon, but there are bigger priorities than buying sim racing gear right now.
I hear that. I mean, especially like I keep looking at rig setups and everything, and it's just like, holy crap, this is turning into an investment. But overall, it's been a lot of fun, and especially with having you and Mark and joining us on Wednesday Night Dash has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I hope Mark gets his internet fixed. He's been having a lot of issues with his internet.
Yeah, he hopped in here about a half hour ago, and he thinks he's okay now. He did a full restart of everything and shut down all the other devices in the house, and then he said the latency numbers started to look a little bit more reasonable. So haven't heard from him since, but crossing our fingers, he should be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop crew chief because he's Still talking.
So a question that Taka had earlier is, how was the tire wear? Looks like you didn't lose too much time, you know, in the 42 laps you ran. How did that go?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Starting in the back where I did, I was able to save a lot of tire because I wasn't pushing to try and like take positions. So I was saving a lot of tire. Those first few laps, and then it got better. It didn't start to get bad until about like lap 35. Then I started to get really slippery. Through like, especially through turns 6 and 7. I think it's 6 and 7. It's either 6 or 7 or 8 or 9. When you go over the hill where Erik is about to go right now, there's like that double apex turn right there. I had to catch myself a few times so I didn't loop it going over that hill. But other than that, the tires weren't really that big of a problem. My biggest problem was just the thing with my throttle.
From up here, you would have never known it had you not said anything.
Yeah, on my stream, I actually have a telemetry, like input telemetry. So, and it just looks like a, what's the word? Like an earthquake detector of how much it's shaking up and down.
Yeah, you want to shout out your Twitch channel while you're here with us?
Yeah. I stream over on twitch.tv/huntyeah, FTW1, HUNTYEAH, FTW, and then a 1. I've got a good amount I've got like probably 90 followers now, which is pretty cool. The story of how I got that is even funnier. I like pirated a NASCAR race, and I ended up gaining like 50 followers from that to give me the Twitch affiliate. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a couple events like that where we've run something, and all of a sudden, the next thing you know, there's like 30 people in there. But it didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't had a big surge like that yet, but it's that's awesome.
Yeah, it was when was it? I think it was Martinsville 2020. Because I remember they had come back from COVID, and it was the first time Martinsville had did the light show when someone wins. And I had just turned on my TV app on my computer and live streamed the race. But I put over an overlay so it didn't get detected by the NASCAR like Twitch bot.
Oh man. La la la, didn't hear that. La la la.
I know, yeah, you didn't hear anything, but because other people's streams were being taken down, but mine was up the whole time, and I had like 40 to 50 viewers. Yeah, but I haven't done that. I only did that once, especially because I saw a bunch of people were getting their like Twitch channels like banned, and I was like, okay, maybe once is enough. I don't want to play with this too much. It's like I don't want to keep poking the bear and then get my Twitch channel banned.
I actually had a friend of mine who put up a YouTube video, and he got flagged for copyrighted music. And he's like, I didn't use any copyrighted music in my video. I don't know what's happening here. And he went back and he looked at, you know, if you've ever done that on YouTube, it, you know, when you go into your list, it shows, you know, copyright claim next to it. And so he clicks on it. And what happened was his kids in the background were watching TV, and the audio from the TV from whatever show they were watching got picked up in the background.
Oh, wow.
And he got flagged because of the background noise from the TV.
Wow. No.
Thought
Yeah,
I mean, and it's like, it wasn't like he was playing music or anything like that. I mean, it was, you know, it was the kids were watching a kids show or something like that, and it got flagged. I mean, it's that sophisticated. It's pretty wild. Actually, I'll be going to whoop. Looks like we had a bit of a bump there. Adam Bates in the 15, it looks like.
That's her position. Or, ooh, there they go. Wait, am I on? Oh, I'm not even on live. Hold on a second. Okay. I was like way far back.
Yeah, it looks like Kiko Russo in the number 10 just passed Erik. Sorry, no, that was Michael Keeley.
Man, that was crazy though. I literally woke up at 4:38. I woke up 20 minutes before a green flag, and all of a sudden I was like, I got put in the first stint, and I was like, oh, okay.
Not how that was supposed to go, but hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I set my alarm this morning. I was in bed by 10:30 last night, which one never happens, and two, I set my alarm for 1:45. Alarm goes off at 1:45, and I hopped right up. That never happens. I mean, I'm going to a birthday party for one of my kid's friend later today, and my wife is making a bet that I pass out on the couch during that birthday party. Probably right, but this is going to be a caffeine to survive day for sure.
Yeah.
Hey Hunter, I just want to say, amazing job racing out there.
Thank you.
What was it like in a whole hour, other than focusing on the racetrack, was going through your mind? And talk us through how it was.
Well, the biggest problem I ran into 20 minutes in was my fan. I forgot to turn on my fan, so I started getting unbelievably hot. I'm still hot right now, but I was getting so hot in the car, and it was really taking a toll on my mental, because I was focused more on the fact that I was hot and uncomfortable rather than driving the car. So around it was minute 20 to minute 25, I was just running bad lap times and really out of the game. And I felt like I was being pressured the entire time. There was always someone behind me trying to pass me. Until about minute 35, then it opened up and I was able to calm down. But the most stressful minutes were probably minute 20 to minute 25 or 27. But the beginning was not that bad. I was expecting more crap to happen. I said to the other guys on the green flag lap, everybody just immediately spread out to single file. So we all started single file, and that was really nice instead of trying to start double file all tight together.
Dang, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've never known that anything like that. That's an amazing job racing.
Yeah.
We would have never known about all the issues and difficulties. So would have never known that a fan would cause that much of a big difference. But comfortable in a long race is very, very important.
Yeah, definitely. And with the amount of time it was, I had practiced. I had done I would say 4 or 5 simulated AI hour-long races to know the different stages of an hour-long race. So I was pretty comfortable running the full hour. The thing that just took me the most by surprise was starting first. because we had originally planned it that I would be the last person running, and then yeah, so
Glad you showed up on time. Otherwise, this would have been an awkward start.
yeah, definitely. I was able to drive it up to P14 though, I'm pretty sure, right before I got out of the car. Pretty sure that's where I was.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. That was another kind of small but weird issue is my crew chief, and I use Race Lab for my like relative and other stuff, but I also use crew chief for the spotter. But my crew chief kept telling me that I was a different position than I actually was. Race Lab would tell me I was like 18th, and then my crew chief would tell me that I was 13th or 12th. So it was really confusing where I was.
There was something going on with the iRacing API for sure. We were watching you, and it kept saying, like, we were watching you live driving, and it said underneath that you were out of the race. And I was like, no, you're clearly not out of the race, but it ended up fixing itself after a couple of minutes. So I don't know what that was all about.
I just had a big, dumb, stupid moment. My microphone on my stream has been muted ever since I got out of the car. Oh well.
It's okay. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like we're on FM radio here, so no, dead air is not a problem. So, completely unrelated side note, Hunter, did you see the news from the truck series yesterday?
The Craftsman, it's going to be Craftsman.
We're back.
Yeah.
We're back to the Craftsman truck series, and as you know, as somebody who grew up as a kid in the '90s and watching Ron Hornaday and Jack Sprague fight it out in the Craftsman truck series, I am pumped about that. I mean, it's just a name. I mean, there's a lot of other issues that the truck series needs to work out, but.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, from a nostalgia standpoint, to see the Craftsman truck series again, I am pumped about that.
Yeah. Since I'm younger, I never really got to experience the Craftsman truck series. I knew it, I think... I remember, the earliest I remember is the Gander Mountain truck series, but that was only for a few years, and I don't remember who was before then.
I'm glad you covered for me there, because I was trying to remember who it was after Craftsman before Camping World, so that's yeah. I think it's only been the 3. I think there may have been a couple years where it was just the truck series maybe in between.
Yeah.
Again, showing my age here, when I was in high school in the first part of college, I actually worked at Sears back in the day when Sears was still a thing. And we'd get all kinds of Craftsman truck series signs and stuff to put up around the store, which is pretty cool. I wish I would have swiped one of those. That would have been awesome, but didn't think of it at the time.
Yeah, my racing background comes mostly from my grandfather. He got me into racing when I was a really little kid. When I was like, I think I first started dabbling in racing when I was 8 years old. So I've been involved in racing for like 10 years. And I went to my first race. Ooh. The first race I went to was...
Erik's into the grass, but he's back on the track now. That was a rough moment for him, but looks like no harm, no foul.
Only 1X, so not too bad.
Yeah, while we're telling racing stories, and you know, especially with your grandfather, you know, I have a kind of a similar story. So, my birthday is in late May. I was actually born 2 days before the 69th running of the Indianapolis 500. So, you know, being from Indiana, living an hour from the track, you know, the Indy 500 has always been a very special event for me. But you know, my grandfather passed away a few years back. And my grandma sent me a box of stuff recently, and one of the things she sent me was his ticket stub from the 1985 Indianapolis 500. There you go. You can do the math to figure out how old I am. And 1984 winner Rick Mears. They sat in section 26, and that ticket cost $45 back in 1985.
Oh wow, a ticket like that would probably cost like $200 to $300 today.
Probably, but yeah, I mean, he had the ticket stub put in like this acrylic plastic, like little display box. Section 26. Oh, he was in the paddock on the front stretch. Man, that's awesome. Right on Georgetown Road.
Wow.
Yeah, he also sent me. They came out to Indiana to visit for the Brickyard for a couple of years, and so I actually have the inaugural ticket stub from the first Brickyard 400 in 1994. They had a box seat right next to the paddock, just at the end, right at the end of pit road, and that ticket in 1994 cost $55. So there's some Indianapolis Motor Speedway trivia for this Saturday morning.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the first race I ever went to was the 2011 or 2012 NASCAR Nationwide Series at Mid-Ohio. It was their first year. The first year that NASCAR came to Mid-Ohio, I went to that. I'm pretty sure it was either 2011, 2012. I don't remember exactly. Yeah. And then we coincided back when I was younger. We would just do one a year. We would do NASCAR one year and then IndyCar the other year, then NASCAR and then IndyCar and back and forth. But this year, I got really involved in the stuff at Mid-Ohio, and being as, like I said, my grandfather works at Mid-Ohio, he's been working there for probably a decade now, close to a decade. He just goes in, they have each person that works there is allotted 2 to 4 free tickets. They can just go and grab them and give them to whoever they want. And if I just ask my grandfather if there's something happening on track, I can just be like, hey, can you swing by and get like 2 tickets? And he's like, yeah, and then I just get 2 tickets.
So I know you've told me this before, but it's early. So what does your grandfather do at the track?
He's a safety crew member, so he mostly works on pit road. He's able to, he like directs when there's fans allowed in the paddock and or the pit area, he like controls where they go to keep them separate from the drivers, and they also, and then like when stuff on track is happening, he works as one of the fuel managers, so he controls like people getting like fuel and getting out fuel and stuff like that. Yeah, he's talked to so many famous people, and it's funny because my grandfather plays it off like it's nothing, but he's talked to like Roger Penske, he's talked to Mario Andretti, he's talked to like,
I think there'd be a point for most people that, especially if you're working in a field where you're dealing with famous people and like legends of a sport, that it just after a while it just kind of like, oh yeah, I just talked to Mario Andretti today. And
yeah, I know.
For me, for somebody that loves the history and seeing all these guys, I'm not sure I would ever get past fanboy status if I ran into Al Unser or Mario Andretti.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because he plays it off so casually, but then I'm just sitting here like, what? Because he told me, like, I told you that my favorite driver is Kyle Busch in the Cup Series, but he used to volunteer at Kentucky Speedway. He would drive to Kentucky and whenever it was NASCAR weekend and go and work safety at Kentucky when NASCAR still went to Kentucky. And then he told me, he like called me up that night and he was like, yeah, I just like came and had like a nice conversation with Kyle. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, wish I could do that.
So, fun fact. So, Kyle Busch's wife, Samantha, is the same age as me and actually went to Purdue University at the same time I did.
Really? That's cool.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's like, obviously no one knew who she was back then, but, when I see her, and it's like, oh, she's a Purdue grad. I'm like, wait, what? And then I look at her age. I'm like, I'm the same age as her. Like, we were there at the exact same time.
That's funny.
So, Hunter, I have to ask while we're on the topic of all this is, do you have a favorite piece of racing memorabilia that you own?
Hey. Kind of, because I never really, one of the things is, well, actually, I'm trying to think. I mean, I have like a bunch of die casts, like something signed or anything. I want to get something signed.
My piece of memorabilia is not allowed in the house. When I lived in Illinois, we kept it in the basement. And when we moved here and we don't have a basement, I tried to put it in the living room, and my wife is like, absolutely not. So my prized racing possession is a race-used Formula One tire from the early 90s.
Oh, wow.
So the tire was used by a driver named Bertrand Gachot, and he is most famous for winning the 1991 24 Hours of Le Mans. And he ran in Formula One for a while. He had a lot of success in the lower series, but he never quite put it together in Formula One. And his career was derailed because when he was on his way to a sponsor meeting, he got into an argument with a cab driver and punched the cab driver in the face, and was sentenced to 18 months in prison. So he only spent 2 months in jail, but it was during the season, and while he was out, they brought in a sub driver to fill in for him, and that sub driver was an unknown kid at the time named Michael Schumacher.
Oh.
So yes, Michael Schumacher, I mean, I'm sure his career would have eventually taken off, obviously, being one of the greats of Formula One. But
Yeah.
yes, his career got his break in Formula One because the driver he replaced punched a cab driver in the face.
That's funny. Yeah, speaking of Formula One, were you paying attention to Kimi on when he was at Watkins Glen? I was rooting for him.
Till he wrecked, he was doing pretty well.
I know. I made an audible noise when he threw that big block on Chase Elliott. I was like, no way. He's out here blocking people.
On that note, I have to give Justin Marks from Trackhouse a lot of credit with his program where he's bringing in that 91 car for the part-timers. But apparently they've had so much interest with drivers. Oh, we got a blinker. But he's had so much interest with drivers from all over the world who want to come in and drive that 91 that there's probably a huge waiting list now for that.
I know, that's so cool. I was seeing the day after that happened, there was like 4 IndyCar drivers that threw their hat in the ring. I was like, who was it? It was Marcus Ericsson was the first one.
Yeah,
to top it all off.
Marcus Ericsson on Twitter.
Yeah, I think there's been like a couple more Formula One drivers, either current or past. I'm just waiting for the day that Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen takes that seat.
I've always wondered if Lewis Hamilton would come over here and race in Indy or NASCAR or something like that. That would be, in either case, that would be a major deal for that series if you get Lewis Hamilton, even for a race. Or Verstappen, for that matter.
Yeah.
Did you see Verstappen's close call with the Williams car the other day in practice?
No, I don't really keep up to F1 that sharply. I've been getting more into it with like Drive to Survive. I've only watched a few episodes of Drive to Survive, but I've been watching a lot more F1. But I usually just watch the races on Sunday. Like I'll just try and catch the races on Sunday, whatever they may be.
Yeah, so it's on the F1 Instagram page. So Verstappen is coming out of his pit, and the Williams mechanic released Nicholas Latifi from the stall, and he pulls out, and Verstappen had to swerve to avoid hitting him, and it was pretty close. It was a little uncomfortable there.
Yeah.
So it looks like Erik has about 23 minutes left in his session. He's holding on to 17th place right now.
Rousseau behind him, kind of into the walls. While you guys were talking, I kind of watched his rear end slide out. He went straight into. Didn't hit it hard. He tapped it, but he'd go into the wall. So I'm wondering when Rousseau will come back and to Erik. That does happen.
Alright, well, I'm gonna head back over to the driver chat. I'll talk to y'all later.
Sounds good. Thanks for stopping by. Hunter
Yep.
Hughes, everybody. So Taka, hopefully Mark Vicars, we haven't heard from him in a little while. Hopefully his internet issues are resolved. And he'll be taking that third stint here in about 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, I really hope it is solved. I mean, not really much we can do, but besides watch him race, and we watch some blinking happen while he races. From what it sounded like, he got it all set up and was all ready to go. That was also about an hour ago, hour and a half ago.
Yeah, he's over in the driver chat right now with Erik and Hunter, so I think he should be good, hopefully.
Yeah. Been online this whole time, so I would think that he's gonna be getting ready and in that zone, getting ready to shred some tires. Well, hopefully not shred some tires, but
Not quite the right terminology there, but we get the spirit of your comment.
yeah.
So if we hold this broadcast, this will be ending around 5 a.m. my time, and I usually wake up sometime between 7 and 8 a.m. on the weekends. The question is, even though I've had a cup of coffee, do I go back to bed for 2 or 3 hours, or try to go back to bed, or do I just say heck with it and go on with my day?
I would say take that nap. A cat nap or a power nap or even just a little bit of rest goes a long, long way. I like how Erik's driving. Kind of a little conservative. It goes a long way in the long race, like an hour-long race. You just think about the tire wear. Think about that. Take it a little easy. Take it easy on the tires. It'll last you a lot longer in the race. And looks like Erik's doing really good so far too. So running smoothly. He did some lawn care earlier, but recovered pretty well from that. And she is pretty comfortable in the car so far. Looking forward to having him hop on and talk to him and see what he thought about racing tonight or this morning. So used to Wednesday Night Dash. I look out my window and it's turning light. I'm like, oh, that's right. It's the morning. It's 6, almost 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it is still pitch black out here. I mean, it is only 3:54 a.m. on the West Coast here.
I didn't know if I was going to be able to wake up, so I set like 6 different alarms, and got lucky and I woke up on the first alarm, so I didn't have to.
I took that risk. I set one alarm, and I'm just like, either I'm going to get right up or I'm going to miss this and screw this all up. And fortunately, I got right up.
Just happy this is early in the morning because I live on the college dorms and I have to use Wi-Fi from the college, and on the weekends it gets pretty busy and I don't have that bandwidth.
So is your setup with a roommate in there with you right now, or you actually have your own like private room?
I have my own private room, thank goodness. If I had a roommate in here, I'd probably be doing this in the living room or
Yeah, I was about to say
a
they'd
little more open.
probably be a little upset with you flashing that screen at very early in the morning on a Saturday.
Yeah. It's okay, we gotta get ready for morning practices soon. This is a good trial run for it, and I have to wake up at 4:30. Get to practice by 5:15.
Yeah, my lifestyle, like pre-pandemic versus post-pandemic, completely like flipped. And my kids were born in 2018. I would wake up at like 4:45 a.m. every morning, feed both of them, and then I was just like, well, I mean, I'm just gonna go into work early, and then I got done early, and then we get sent home in 2020. And now instead of driving, a half hour up to an office, I'm now walking down the hallway to my home office setup. And the wake up time is pushed later and later and later.
Yeah. Kind of nice working virtually. But there are some drawbacks to waking up later. It's like, oh, it's right there. I can kind of sleep in a little bit.
I mean, honestly, the best part of it for me is that I was driving. It was, it's 30 minutes in the morning, and it was about 40 to 45 minutes home with the afternoon rush. And, that's hour 15, hour 20 minutes of that I get at home now, that I don't have to sit in traffic or deal with the insane people on the highway.
Yeah. It's like the nicest thing about working virtually, and just the pandemic wasn't fun, but at the same time, a lot of the cool things like working remotely and stuff like that came out of it. I don't think, if it weren't for the pandemic, I don't think I would be here working with you guys.
I don't think this event would be going on right now with us if it wasn't for that. So, I mean, it's just funny how all these things just kind of fall in place. It's kind of telling the story of how this started with Erik and I. This concept of FR racing dates back to 2008, and Erik and I, we were finishing. Well, he was done. I was just finishing up school, and we went to the Indy 500 that year, and we were driving back, and we were all amped up from the race, and Erik's like, what? Wouldn't it be cool if we started our own racing team someday, and someday we were able to field our own car in the Indy 500? And so we made these concept drawings. That one of them's posted on our website now, that I've saved over the years. We took an Indy car and we put FR Racing on it, and the logo is actually not too different from what we use today. But we had this idea, and it just kind of fell on the wayside. And I don't have money. We don't have time. Erik disappeared off the face of the earth for a while, for a couple of years, and then resurfaced again. And but yeah, it was actually a conversation last summer. We were texting, and he said, "Man, remember FR Racing?" And I said, "Yeah, I do remember that. I still have the drawings." And he goes, "Wouldn't it have been cool if we would have been able to do that?" And I was thinking, and I said, Whoa! Erik is lost control. He's off the track. And looks like he's okay. Man, that was a tough
Nice
corner.
save.
Yeah, nice save. That could have been much worse than what it was. But yeah, with Erik's like, wouldn't it have been cool if we would have been able to make that happen? And I said, well, what if we can, just not in the way that we thought it would be. And I sent him the link to iRacing because I honestly, like, even though iRacing's been around since 2008, I had honestly, like, really never knew about it, or I'd heard of it, but I thought it was a pretty exclusive thing and you had to have a pretty sophisticated setup, and I realized, no, you don't. We did a little bit of research, and we formed a company and made it official, and in end of June last year we kicked this thing off, and we had no clue what our end goal was at the time, and we just started jumping on every Wednesday night at 10-11 o'clock Eastern time, and that evolved 5-6 months later into Wednesday Night Dash, and we run into Mark, we run into Hunter, and now they're teammates here with us in this event. I mean, just kind of all fell together.
I know when he first came to the school as an assistant coach, right before the pandemic hit, he was talking about the racing, got me into sports cards. And like, yeah, I think it was in the middle of for the quarantine. I came back. He's like, yeah, we're talking about starting up a race team, and telling me about you guys, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. If you ever need a social media guy, let me know. I'd love to help you guys out.
And there you go. But I mean, you do awesome work for us. I can't shout that out enough. But anyone who's watched our Twitter account, especially right this very second or during Wednesday Night Dash, that is all Taka.
Thank you guys for the opportunity. It's really hard to be able to do something like this, try to get a job like this, and the fact that I get to work with you guys and have a lot of fun doing it too. Like, just can't ask for anything better. Especially a great environment with you guys.
We don't take ourselves too seriously, so. Yeah, you mentioned the sports card thing from with Erik. For those that don't know, Erik and I have been friends since the first day we met first day of fourth grade. We were seated next to each other, and I remember we've been to a handful of baseball card or sports card shows back in the day when that was a thing. I'm sure it still is a thing, but I've been honestly out of it.
Yeah, it's a expensive hobby.
It is an expensive hobby. I still have some of my old back in the day, the early baseball cards. You'd get them in packs of tobacco.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I have in my I have a lockbox, and I have these cards. Some of them are they're not worth very much. They're players you've never heard of, but it's still so cool to have this card was in a pack of cigarettes in 1907, and you buy your cigarettes and you get a baseball card. It was that was the thing 100 years ago.
Yeah, so different now. It's so hard to find cards, and then when you do find them, they're $25-30 for a box, or you don't even get gum with them anymore. At least,
oh yeah,
was it the 90s? You got gum with it.
My dad had a box of these late 80s baseball cards, and into the mid 90s he had never opened them, and they had the stick of gum in the back that was probably 7-8 years old at that point. And I opened it up, and I was probably 10 at the time. I'm like, I wonder if this will be any good. And it's I thought I broke a tooth when I bit into it.
Oh no way. A couple of baseball announcers, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, they opened up a pack. I think it was from the mid to early 90s, and there was a piece of gum from it still. The announcer's like, I wonder if this is still good. he chewed on the gum, and he's like, nope, this isn't good. He gave some descriptions about it, but wasn't anything that I would want to try.
Yeah, that would be a definite no from me. But I don't know if Eric's ever told you this. I'm gonna destroy a little bit of our credibility here. But when we were in middle school, we both played Magic: The Gathering. You ever tell you that one?
Oh, yeah. He was moving. I helped him move a couple boxes. He still has his I don't know what is it called, a deck free for Magic: The Gathering.
Yeah.
He's got his cards. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's got it all.
Yeah, we were like really big into that, and then we got out of it, and it's just like kind of distanced ourselves from that movement. Growing up in Indiana, very very religious areas, we were seeing, some people saw that stuff as like, oh, this leads to like Satan worshiping, and it's just like,
no way.
yeah, oh yeah, it was pretty wild. But I mean, it's just like, it's really no different than Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, to be honest with you. And Erik actually, for my wedding, one of my wedding gifts is he bought me a box set of Magic: The Gathering cards. And there was a card from the 90s called Leviathan. And it was, it's this giant water wave in the image. It was, you had to use a lot of cards to play it. But if you were able to play it, which it was, it would be a very risky strategy to play this card. But if you were able to play it, you're going to cause a lot of damage very fast, but at the risk of, you eliminating yourself before you get to that point. And Erik found one of the Leviathans, not one of the originals, they reprinted it a couple times, but he found one of the Leviathan cards and put that in my wedding present.
That's awesome.
But yes, during middle school there were many times where I'd go over to his house and we'd start playing a game, and it would run for hours, and we did that a lot.
And I never got into Magic, but I was a hardcore Pokemon card collector, and I love battling friends with my cards. And really had to go through that collection. But I only have Japanese cards because I grew up in Japan. I go to Pokemon battles, and, go face people from just in the local area, and whoever came in from out of town. And it was a lot of fun. I think that's why I got into baseball cards so easily. It's just like, I used to collect Pokemon cards, so baseball cards kind of similar, but a little cooler. I can't really play it, but
I found it.
It's always super cool to have like a relic on there, like a piece of clothing or a bat or a baseball. I know the racing cards have some really cool stuff on there too. I've seen a couple with like cut out a piece of the tire or a piece of the fire suit. It's like, man, someone actually
awesome
used
stuff.
this. And,
yeah, I'm gonna turn on the webcam here in the corner for a second here. All right, so here I am in the corner. You see my green light. So here is the Leviathan card in plastic that Erik gave me for my wedding present. I remember we opened the wedding present, yours and whatever item
it's like
from the
about
red.
5 more minutes for Eric's.
Forgot to hold down the speak button for you, but I'm on the webcam right now with the Leviathan card that Erik gave me. But you open it up and it was the the box of plates or whatever the actual gift was that he bought me. But then in there, I open it up and my wife picks up the card. She goes, "What is this?" And I looked at it, I just started laughing, and I'm like, yeah, you would not understand. So there it is, the Leviathan, not the original printing of the Leviathan, but this is definitely an older card that was probably printed 1995, so yeah, this card was pretty, it was very risky to play this card, and you had to remove your land. You had to sacrifice 2 islands to prep it to be able to use it for an attack or a block. And then to attack again, you had to sacrifice 2 more islands. So For those who aren't familiar with the game of Magic: The Gathering, it's basically you would have a land or water, or mountain or whatever it was, and you use those cards to play the different cards and creatures and spells and everything. And for you to destroy your lands to play this card, not a great strategy, but still cool to have that.
Pretty cool. Thanks for showing us. That's pretty cool. I wish I had my Pokemon cards. See what I have. I have some cards that my mom got, and those were from the original when they first started printing Pokemon cards. I don't know if I really kept them in the best condition because I loved it, so I played them a lot and I used them a lot.
Yeah, I got into... Oh, Erik lost it again. Yeah, you can tell his tires are starting to give out. He is holding until he gets a clear, and he is back on track. So, So we've got a local caution here. And the car's passed by. He's safely back on the track again.
He's got 2-3 more minutes. I wonder if he's going to have one more lap or 2 more laps to go. Looks like Eric's still...
I mean, things have spaced out so much. He's currently sitting in 18th place. But there's 2 laps behind him, and then about a full lap in front of him for 17th place. So we're starting to see driver changes come through for the last hour. And I'm seeing some new names pop up on my timing screen. A lot of Australians again.
Well, I was watching the replay, or I'm watching the Twitch stream right now, and looks like his rear tire caught the grass and just spun him around when he was trying to let some cars through.
So I'm not sure if this is going to be it for him or if he's going to do one more, but he's coming around. And he is... Be interested to hear his thoughts when he hops back in here for the last hour.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Erik is pulling in. With an hour and 1 minute to go, Mark Vicars is going to come and take the wheel for the last hour.
How his tires are looking.
All right, Mark Vicars is taking the wheel. Uh-oh, he's flashing. Yeah, maybe not. Oh boy. This isn't... yeah, he's flashing. Hopefully things stabilize for him once he gets out there, but this could be interesting. Typically on Wednesday Night Dash, we don't really see Mark flashing too much, so... Oh boy. I'm going to shut off the relative for now until that stabilizes. Oh boy.
Man.
Not the start Mark hoped for. Oh boy, this is rough. I'm going to switch over to another car for a moment. We'll keep an eye on Mark and then see if we can get him to come back.
How the radio chatter is going to be about Mark.
I turned the radio off. I just, you know, didn't want the distraction. You know, who knew what's going to happen on the chatter? So it's best to just keep it off.
Yeah, no, that's probably a good idea. Well, maybe we could learn a new language. How international this, with how many EU people are racing tonight or this morning.
So we're now on following Florian Hone in the car number 69. Currently has about 3/4 of a lap lead over second place. Let's check back in with Mark and see if his connection stabilized. Oh boy, this is gonna be a rough hour.
Yeah. I feel like out of all the Wednesday night dash racers, it doesn't really too often.
I think we're
You know
gonna
how technology works. Oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
Well, works doesn't work, so I think we're gonna do another quick ad break, and we'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, technology always crucial time. Doesn't always pull through.
I forgot to turn my stream mic back on, so only you heard that. So,
No.
breaking news is Mark Vicars had to looks like pull out due to his internet connection issues. So Hunter Hughes has jumped in for the last 54 minutes of our session. Dropped to 20th place on that pit, but he's still not too far behind 19th, 18th place, so fallen to 21st. But realistically, there's 4 cars that he could get himself past with a good run this last hour.
Well, that was a big old disappointment.
Oh man, I stepped away for a moment and I come back and I saw Hunter getting back in again. I was like, oh crap.
Yeah, like my quality once I got out of the car was at like 65 in the red. Like I was telling Erik, any other morning I hop on, everything is fine. I never have connection issues. Never once
No,
have I had a connection issue.
And every Wednesday night I've never seen you flash before.
Yeah.
Like this
Never.
is a first. I mean, that sucks. I mean, it's just
No, I pay good money for the internet that we have, so just to avoid that whole problem. Oh man.
Yeah, that is frustrating. So Mark Vicars is joining us live on the stream here. Fortunately, his internet issues had to have him pull out. So Hunter is going to take. He's going to do a. Did you guys decide, is Hunter going to run the last hour, or are you going to split it with Erik?
At the moment, I think he's running the last hour. I'm not sure. I think they should switch it up between the two of them. Oh my God! Any other morning, this thing would be running perfect.
Hey guys.
Erik. Man, you had a interesting hour out there, and then Mark ran into his internet issues. So it's been a last interesting 15 minutes for the group.
You know, I think this is either the 3rd or 4th official road course race that I've been in, so I know I was slow and definitely a lot to learn.
Yeah, you had a couple moments where you went into the grass. Was that tire issues? What caused that?
I think pretty much all of them were just a little bit of oversteer off exit, went into the grass, so it's just on driver.
Oh, Erik, did you have fun racing? An hour? Was it? Talk us through, what it was like, and you have a lot of practice with the Indy cars and a lot of other races, but what was different racing this morning compared to what you're, I guess, normal, what like you're accustomed to?
Well, for me, I'm used to just turning left on the banking. So getting onto road course, I don't run too many of them, and I just wanted to get the laps in and hopefully stay out of other cars' ways and just try to keep it as clean as possible.
You're not helping the stereotype of American race car drivers with that comment, Erik.
Hey, I can't help it. I like those ovals.
As do I. So while you were driving, Taka and I actually got into a pretty in-depth discussion about Magic the Gathering and our past history with that card game. So if you go back and watch the replay, there'll be about a 5-10 minute segment on Magic the Gathering. So wasn't expecting to talk about that this morning.
That's pretty cool. I got a huge plastic crate full of cards.
Well, I actually went on the webcam briefly, and I pulled out the Leviathan card that you gave me as a wedding present 10 years ago. So it's sitting right here in my desk.
It's still a pretty epic wedding gift, if I do say so.
I forgot. I was looking at the card, and I couldn't tell you the last time I looked at a Magic the Gathering card, but I was reading about this card, and I'm like, this is an awful card. Like, the sacrifice you have to make to play this thing is just absolutely, like, awful. And you have to sacrifice your islands, and it's just not practical by any means.
Not at all.
I was telling Taka, I said that there are people, growing up in the religious stronghold of central Indiana in the 90s. There are people that were like trying to get the cards banned from schools and said that it was like leading to like devil worshipping, and just like it's just like no different than Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter at all.
Pretty much.
How about Pogs? You guys get into Pogs growing up?
Oh yeah. I got the I don't know whatever happened to mine, but yeah, I had a tube of Pogs.
Yep.
I have those sitting around somewhere.
My parents used to take me to tournaments back in the day at the Albertsons down the road. Pong tournaments. Good times.
Oh man. Yeah, I had a pretty large tube, and there's this kid who used to be my neighbor that we would see periodically, and I'm like, oh man, he's gonna be really impressed with my Pog tube that's like 8 or 9 inches tall. And then he comes over and he has like a 2-foot tall Pog tube that's completely full. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it was Pogs and yo-yos when I was growing up. The old pro yo days.
How the times have changed.
So,
that's right.
So Mark, you sound like you're a 90s kid. I'm not sure how old you are, but Eric and I are 37. So
yep, I'm 38 in September.
Oh wow, so you got a birthday coming up. So yeah, you're right in line with us as far as the cool things or the not cool things from the 90s there.
Yep, I love the 90s stuff, and then I love how it's all coming back too. Everything comes full circle. Like all those Saved by the Bell prints and stuff like that.
And I was always big into the grunge music, the Seattle grunge music of the 90s. Still heavy on my playlist, but yeah, it was such a great time to be new music coming out from Soundgarden, Nirvana, of course, and Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam.
Yep.
I kind of feel bad for asking, but what are Pogs?
We have the
there's the baby of the
yep.
I don't even know how to explain it. One side has a picture, one side is solid, and then you put the solid side up, and then you take this heavy, thick metal slammers, what they call them.
Slammer, that's right.
You take 2 fingers and you drop it on top, and you try to flip over as many as you can.
And then,
I know it sounds really intense.
Yeah, and then the ones you flipped over, you pulled it over to your side, then somebody else would go and restack, and they had some like really cool. I just Googled. Some people apparently called it milk caps. I've honestly never heard of it referred to as milk caps before.
Yeah, neither have I.
If I can find some, I'll bring them in to show you one day.
Actually, I think my wife has some in her little toy collection. She's got all the Spice Girl Barbies in the garage.
Oh, nice.
Yep, all still in the original box.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
She's got some pods in
Yeah,
there too.
I vividly remember the peak of the Spice Girls popularity in middle school and people walking around in the hallway randomly screaming girl power at each other. So welcome to FR Racing's Loving the 90s to avoid copyright infringement with VH1.
A certain part of me really wanted to ask that question earlier, but another part of me is like, man, I feel really bad for asking this because I have no clue what it is.
To be young.
Yeah. we got our own issues. We got our own weird, funky things.
So
Call it
Taka, are
issues,
you
but-
considered part of Gen Z or whatever that group is called? Or are you like late millennial?
I think I'm part of the Gen Z. I was born in 2000.
Oh my God, we were in high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, that is hilarious. Yeah, and it's like the first time that, like, you know, I'm working and we have somebody who's like 18 years old coming in or 20 years old coming in and working, and they're calling me Mister. I'm like, no, do not start that. Mister is my dad.
Hey, mister.
And just remember the frightening thing next year is our 20-year high school.
Which I will not be in attendance for. So anyone watching who went to high school with us, don't expect my attendance there.
I'm pretty sure I'm busy that day.
If I'm not, I will find something to be busy with.
It might be on my couch watching TV, but hey, it's not that I don't like you, I just don't care about those things.
I kind of said the last time around, I said everybody that I want to talk to from high school, I still talk to them regularly, and that list is getting smaller by the day.
Yeah, I think I'm still in contact with one person. Well, besides my wife, one person from high school.
I would say I'm regularly in touch with 2 people. One of them is in this chat right now. And then there's maybe 2 or 3 others that I periodically will chat with on social media. And that's really about it.
After moving out to Michigan, I haven't really talked to a lot of anyone from high school, and it's only been 4 years now. I'm like, man, I feel like I should keep some connections, but at the same time, it's so fun over here that, like,
Yeah, it's so our generation, we were the beginning of the Facebook era. I remember it was
MySpace, baby.
Yeah, we were kind of peak MySpace, and then, like, you know, Facebook back in the day was a college only thing, and you were waiting for the day, and people were like, when are you gonna add my college to it? And then it turned into high school, and then the general public, and then it's like, okay, not cool anymore.
Yeah, you
Man,
got access to it before me.
MySpace was so much fun back in the day. God, I used to pull so much tail off of that.
There was a tweet the other day by some, you know, younger Gen Z kid that said Facebook would be really cool if we could customize our own profiles and add music to it, and somebody like quote tweeted it, "This kid has just discovered MySpace."
Yeah, those are the good old days.
And
You know you're old when you're saying that.
Yeah, Tom was everybody's friend. There was an episode once of the Maury Povich show, and this guy it was one of the paternity tests, and this guy was denying that he was the child of the father of the child in question, and his argument was that the child's skin was too light in color, and so it had to have been a white guy. And he went through her MySpace and said that Tom Anderson has got to be the father because that was her only white friend. and Maury was, and the whole crowd's laughing. And it's like, for those that don't know, Tom is the founder of MySpace and is everybody's friend. And then he started to, with a straight face, saying something to the extent of, we contacted Mr. Anderson's office for comment on the paternity question, and he just starts cracking himself up. He's like, we didn't get a response.
People are so stupid.
Oh, man. Classic.
I just can't stress how disappointed I am about
Hunter into the grass.
I'll have to check on him here in a few minutes. I may be jumping in about 10.
So you're gonna take the last half hour?
Just got into the grass again. Yeah, I'll probably be in the last like 25-30 minutes. Switch channels here, check in on him, and we'll go from there.
So it looks like Hunter got to run the last hour after all. So at least this is only a 3-hour and not a 24-hour.
And looking forward to the 10-hour and the 24-hour.
Yeah, I think we should do the Road Atlanta. Is that a 12-hour or 6-hour?
I think.
Isn't that a 10?
Jace.
Is it a 10?
Thought I
I'm
saw
not
it
sure.
was a 10. I'm trying to figure out when it is actually. I can't find that right now.
We should definitely try to do the Road Atlanta next weekend, the 3-hour. But maybe do it later in the day. My last ditch effort to see if I can get this quality up.
Did anybody give you a hard time on the radio for blinking?
No, I turned off the open chat just to have the team, but there was the two guys that passed me were blinking for flashing their brights, so I'm assuming I was in their way, so I just let them pass.
Yeah, I accidentally left the channel on by mistake, and it took a good 40 minutes before anybody hopped in to yell at somebody. It's definitely one of the Australia guys with the accent was unmistakable. He was upset at somebody for something, but like, whoops, I'm gonna have to shut that off.
I was pretty surprised with how long that he had that radio open. No one was speaking. Is that how it's supposed to be? I mean, it's cool hearing the radio chatter, but like,
yeah, I think it just depends. I mean, you get into these regular series, especially in these shorter races, and just people are just losing their minds left and right.
So I try not to do too many official races during the day. Like the morning crowd is always, well, seems to be a little bit cleaner, more quiet.
I wonder if it comes with experience or not.
And we typically end up being in a higher split too in the morning, which which will help everybody out.
So Mark, we asked this of Hunter. Do you have any pieces of racing memorabilia that are prized possessions for you?
You know, I don't. I mean, I've always been into cars and stuff. You know, like GTRs and stuff, R32s and whatnot. But I actually didn't start getting into like organized racing until the pandemic. I actually saw Ian Poulter, he's a professional golfer. He went into he did a set of Corsa race, and they televised it, and that's what actually got me into sim racing. Seeing that, so I'm fairly new. I mean, I like NASCAR, but I absolutely love the IMSA series. That, and I wasn't playing too much golf back about a year ago because I had a shoulder injury. And then once you have a kid, it's hard to get back into anything. So
yeah.
This fills that competitive void that golf filled for me for so many years.
I told you this the other day. My golf clubs have not moved from the same spot in probably 5 years now.
Yeah, it's been. I golfed with one of my buddies. We just went to a little par 62 course and almost lost a sleeve. And that's the first time I've done that in, 4 years, 5 years. And right before my son was born and before I hurt my shoulder, I was a 3 handicap.
Oh, wow.
Now I'm lucky if I can freaking break 80.
For a while when I was golfing, I'd be lucky if I could break 100 on 18.
That's 100's an average score, so you're an average golfer. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point where I was in the summer when I was still in school that I would golf like every other week, and by the end of that summer, I was in the low 90s. And I mean, the thing that prevented me from getting any better was my putting was still terrible, and then after that, it was just that was it.
That's tough if you don't practice it all the time. Like when I was in school, I'd golf. I was a member at San Marcos, so I was golfing 4 days a week, plus going to the range, damn near 6 days a week.
Over on my side of town.
Yep. Yeah, I used to live out there off of Arizona Avenue, like in between Baseline and Guadalupe. Some townhouses over there.
When I first moved here, I actually was in a apartment off of just south of Elliott on Arizona Avenue.
Okay, I think I know where that's at. That's almost by the PJ Superstore.
Yeah, that was about a block away.
Yep. Yeah, I had a buddy that lived in there, went to school with. Had some meth heads that lived upstairs or next door to him that was putting holes in the wall.
Yeah, when I moved here, we were selling our house in Illinois, and I'd been here maybe 10 days, and I'm getting ready to go to bed, and I just hear this loud crash outside my apartment. And I walk out on my balcony, and I see under the carport 2 cars turn sideways, and I'm just like, no, and I run outside. It's like midnight, and this idiot in their like 20-year-old Ford Escort lost it over a speed bump, hit a car, which pushed it into the next car, which pushed it into my car. And
oh my God!
Yeah,
welcome to Arizona.
Yeah, so I had the the police out. I've been here 10 days. I have the police out here reporting this accident. The first car that they hit directly ended up being a total loss, and then my car, I was in the shop for 2 weeks or so.
Damn, how fast were they going in that parking lot?
Like, I heard the car coming, and then I heard this skid over the speed bump, and then just this loud crash sound, and I just knew. It sounded like somebody just smashed a bunch of glass everywhere. But yeah, that was my welcome to Arizona. Yeah, I've got
Nice.
the police department. They brought their evidence van out for the hit and run, and I ended up finding the car. They lived in the apartment complex, or they visited the apartment complex, and I contacted the police. I'm like, I found the car. And they went over there and knocked on the door, and like the person didn't answer, and that was kind of it. And like man, like I found the person. Come on.
Do your job.
<clears throat> 28 minutes left in the session. I think Hunter is going to be pulling off here soon and let Erik finish the session out.
And unfortunately, we will get a DQ because I only completed 3 of 11 laps.
Be fine though. We got good experience. I think that's probably the most important part about today's race. So it gives me a good excuse to take a nap later. So
Yeah, I woke up early to not race.
yeah.
Nothing like waking up at 1:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning.
That's right. Woke up I got out of bed at 12:45 to make sure everything was running. Because yesterday my pedals just stopped working.
Oh,
Like,
jeez.
yeah, so the calibration tool was reading them, but iRacing wasn't recognizing them. So that took me
had that
30 minutes.
issue recently with iRacing where they ran one of the updates and I come in and it's just like, you're not calibrated, and it made me go all over again.
Yeah, it wouldn't even calibrate. Like, I'd be stomping on the gas and nothing. I had restarted my computer like 3 or 4 times, and then all of a sudden it just started working. Like, this is Murphy has shown up. Well, if my connection issue fixes itself today, I'm probably going to try to do the Miata race at Road Atlanta. It's a fun little track, especially with that car.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, the whole reason I got into iRacing was because the MX-5 series they had in there.
Oh, no way. I get out of school and have a little bit more free time. I'd like to get an iRacing account and start racing.
It's a lot of fun. It gets expensive, but it's a lot of fun.
It does get expensive, that's for sure.
Yeah, I dove into the whole sim racing thing freaking head first, man.
I'm probably going to do the same thing. Oh.
I still got my G920, however my pedals are far from stock now. I put the Extreme Sim Racing G920 pedal, the adapter kit, the Leo Bodnar cable, and then I just bought this. I'm testing a new brake that gives it a load cell type feel, but it's not a true load cell. That got pretty good reviews, so I'm giving that a shot to see if that helps with my braking issues.
Yeah, I noticed a huge difference going from like a pressure base to the load cell. Like night and day difference. But speaking of Extreme Sim Racing, they're having I think 25% off sale on all their Sim Magic stuff. So
yeah, I saw they released some new products yesterday.
Yeah, those wheels are freaking sick. And they released a new base too. I think it's like 25 Newton meters or whatever they call that, however they measure it.
They some of the existing wheels, they dropped them in price 10-15%, and then they introduced two new models, which looks pretty cool.
Yeah, you can get the old Alpha and a wheel for like 1,400 now, which actually isn't too bad compared to some of the other setups you can get.
Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna wait until I get funds and free time, not just free time.
Hey,
Yes.
just remember, buy once, cry once.
That's true. I like that logic.
Yeah, I mean, you think by the time, I mean, how much money I've spent on upgrading bases going from like the T80 to what I have now, I could have just bought a freaking, direct drive, whatever, and been done with it. That's why I went from my rig, I was on a TV tray, and I just went straight for the big boy on Extreme Sim Racing.
Yeah, I went from clamp to the desk to the Extreme Racing wheel stand. Actually, and in between, I bought a, like knockoff Chinese stand that just wobbled like crazy. It was awful.
Yeah, don't buy your sim racing stuff off of eBay, especially
Yeah,
if it's no name coming from China.
Yeah, I went Amazon, but yeah, same issues.
Yeah, I'm still rocking the desk.
I'll make sure not to do that. I once, cry once. That's good.
That's the motto my wife and I live by now. We just waste so much money on crap on Amazon and stuff when you could have just bought, you buy 3 things and end up buying the one that you should have bought to begin with. Spending 3 times the amount of money. Oh man, that BMW just...
Protest.
Dang.
Man,
like
that was a
gave
rough.
him enough room.
Yeah, that
gave
was
him enough room too.
Let's go back and see that again. Backing it up. Back up the bus.
Yeah, he just plowed his way through him.
Oh yeah. Ouch.
Wow.
And clearly giving me enough room to get around.
Yeah, he didn't even wait. He just right out of the turn
just hip checked him right out of the way.
Yep.
He already had a lot of front end damage too, so not the first time that's happened, I think.
Guy in front of Hunter's blinking.
So, Erik, are you hopping in at all, or is Hunter going to finish it out?
It looks like Erik just left to the driver's chat. Wow. About 20 minutes to go.
Guess that answers that.
Race.
There was no fast repair in this session, was there?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I think we're going to do one more ad break and we'll come back and take it to the end. A little over 18 minutes to go. Fortunately, if you missed the start, originally Mark Vicars was supposed to run the first hour, but he was having internet trouble, so Hunter Hughes ran the first hour, Erik ran the second, and Mark started the third, but ran into so much internet problems that he just could not stay on the track, so made it only up, and Hunter is spun out around the corner there. Yep, Hunter lost it again, but yeah, it's getting tough towards the end here. But Mark had to pull out, and Hunter ended up jumping in and taking in the last session.
I just did an internet speed check and my upload is less than 1 megabyte.
That's not going to cut it.
No, it is 0.22. That is crazy. I have no idea what the heck is happening.
Yeah, we got lucky. They replaced the main line coming into our neighborhood, I don't know, about 6-8 months ago. And since then, it's just been flying. But
yeah, what? I mean, what could be causing this? Do you have any? I mean, yesterday everything was working fine.
I mean, it's probably,
as far as everything goes.
I'm guessing there's something down, or they're doing some kind of maintenance somewhere along the line. The normal people are still sleeping, so that's how they like to do this stuff, but we are not normal.
No.
I'm glad we're not normal, because I'd be fighting for internet here. Oh, looks like we got about 15 minutes left, and I think Eric's going to take over. Is he repairing the back right now?
He might be.
Yeah, there might be some mandatory fixes on there. I don't know. I can't see any of that.
Oh, why that's happening. Let's go check out the leaders, see how they're doing.
I'm surprised they're still holding like 121, 122s up there in the top.
Yeah, you look at
How
the
they do.
yeah, you look at the top the first and second are separated by about 2 seconds. Third place is about 9 seconds back. And then after that, everybody's about a minute, then 2 minutes. And then it drops after that. So yeah, there's 2 cars, the 472 and the 69, that have a chance to win this.
It's crazy. I can't imagine with, you know, the tires going thinner with less traction and trying to stay mentally aware of everything for this long, just constantly driving. It's tough, and keeping those numbers too.
Repairs they're gonna do. Said it was no reason not to do them.
Sweet, thank you.
How long is he's stuck in the pit?
I think when I got off, it was like 30 seconds. I think he's getting ready to go out now. Yep, there he goes.
Good timing. I just switched from the leader back to Erik, and the leader was going by the pits at the same time.
A smooth transition.
Yeah, Hunter's not too happy with that BMW.
Oh.
I can imagine that was pretty tacky.
Should do what that Wednesday night driver recruiting race did. Came out of the pits and just not a good idea.
Just blast it. Yeah, that'll get Erik put in timeout if for a while if he did that.
Yeah, especially on 3-hour race like this. Just can't imagine the emotions that you'd feel and the wrath that you'd feel after you just mess with a lead pack that's been driving for the past 3 hours and 50 minutes.
Yep. Wreck him out with 5 minutes to go.
Imagine that on the Daytona 24, and you do that with 5 minutes to go.
Oh my god.
That might be a riot. All
Yeah,
right,
I'd probably sell all my sim stuff.
all right, we are under 10 minutes to go. So thanks again to all our viewers who checked out us this morning. It's been very early, but we've been seeing quite a few people pop in and out throughout the last 3 hours, and we really appreciate you stopping in. Quick race recap. Whoa, Erik is off the track. Oh, no! Oh, that was awesome.
I looked down and looked back up, and he's in the wall.
Oh, man. He went right across the grass and then back across the track again, and total pucker moment for that previous car. We gotta see a replay of that. Holy crap.
Oh wow, I just saw the oh. Wow. Got bumped too, it looked like.
That Porsche was on the left side. Looked like he was trying to get back into that
Up.
lane, and the Porsche just pushed him out of the way.
Oh man.
Man, we shouldn't have been talking about wrecking out.
Well, I
Yeah.
I think we've got our crash of the week for Monday's Instagram post. Holy crap! I got to go back and get the cockpit view of that car that he cut off going across the track there. Oh
Yeah,
man, I bet
I
that
think it's a Audi.
that if he was not awake then, he is now.
Well, that was exciting.
Holy crap! I was giving the race recap, and then all of a sudden I see you get bumped and then go flying across. Man, I don't know if you saw the replay yet, but you went right in the path of another car who just happened to brake. Holy crap!
I saw him coming. Like, it was weird that the guy tried to stick the outside line rather than the inside line, because the inside's the preferred line coming up to that turn. But then, yeah, you just like stuck it in the gas and just like almost destroyed the blue car. I was so close.
I was fully prepping for a hard hit between the two of you, and just
Oh
I have.
my god, I want to watch his view. Hold on, I want to watch his view of that. What car number is that?
Yeah, if you get the car number, we'll try to get that on the stream here.
Oh, I can't see it. It's Missed Alex Racing. Where like this.
Missed Apex or something like that. What's on the side of his
Trying to
car?
figure out why he's trying to go outside of me.
Oh, Mixed Apex Racing League. There. I'm gonna watch his cockpit view. It's car number. Where's the car number? Not sure. Car number 12. Holy moly! This is the moment of the entire freaking. Jeez. Okay. Yeah. Holy cow. Dude, I would have pooped my pants if that would have happened to me. Like.
Yeah, we're rewinding the stream. We gotta find this. Let's show everybody what just happened there.
Holy moly.
Well, safe to say we had an adventurous first attempt at this.
Yeah. Well, you win some, you lose some.
That guy is blinking pretty bad too.
Yeah. Man, I feel so bad for you, Mark, that you didn't get your hour.
Yeah, it's pretty disappointing.
Well, you guys want to try Atlanta next week?
Yes, I love that. I love that track.
Yeah, I gotta practice more at Atlanta.
Oh, it's coming up on the stream. All of a sudden,
that was awesome. I just saw it.
You gotta look at it from their cockpit view.
Erik just like flew right across.
I know. I wonder if you got an X for that.
Oh man.
And I was 100% on the brakes at that too.
Wow.
Yeah, what do you guys think? There's 4.5 minutes. Just leave it parked.
Yeah.
Might as
Oh,
well. Well, Erik, we've got the crash of the week for Monday.
Yep. Hey, maybe I should have gotten over to the left a little bit quicker, but man, why are you going to the outside of me into that turn? With all that space to the inside.
Oh. Well, as we're in the last 4 minutes of this, you got, gentlemen, final thoughts on our first team run.
It was good. Everyone kept it on track for the most part. I mean, any incidents we had was really not anyone's fault. You know, you got ran into by that BMW and then that dipstick that wants to stick on the outside. Other than that, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I know I just need to keep working on my road racing.
Yeah, I think we definitely got in like one of the top splits, which was good and bad at the same time. It was good because everyone was racing mostly clean, but bad because a lot of people were like seconds faster than all of them.
It's been mostly Class A drivers. A lot of them have safety ratings in the upper 4s. I mean, there were only 2 or 3 C drivers that I've seen pop in. Few Bs, but yeah, this is mostly an A. Yeah, we got a top split here for sure.
I'm thinking there may have only been one split going in. There were only in the mid to upper 20s on teams.
That would also explain that.
Oh, Road Atlanta we should do in the 12 o'clock race next Saturday. Or 3 o'clock, whatever side of the country you're on.
Yeah, I think going later, hopefully get a couple more splits and not be in this one.
Yeah, talk about being thrown in the fire. I mean, that's a tough group to make your debut with.
Honestly, it's probably the best, though, because, I mean, you think if we were in there with lower safety ratings, it'd be a very messy race.
Watch I end up, like, getting protested or something for the guy driving into me.
Looks like we're in our last 75 seconds of the event. I have the leaders on the stream right now. These two cars are going for the win. 0.77 seconds between the two of them.
Maybe the BMW will wreck the other one.
That's flat. Well, at least we kind of know where we stack up against the top drivers.
Yeah.
Technical issues aside and, unfortunate bumps, I mean, I think overall it's a pretty solid run.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
We would have probably finished 18th or 19th. That's where we were running pretty much all night. I guess morning. Technically morning.
I keep making that mistake throughout the whole stream. It's all good.
Still pitch black outside.
Oh, for me, the sun came up. I was
Me too.
watching.
I got some bright sunshine now.
Yeah, I was watching the
Blackout curves are
sun.
gonna come in handy. Sorry, go ahead.
All
As I was
right.
watching the sun come up on my, when I wasn't driving, I was just looking at the sun.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks like Mitchell Hooten in the 472 is our winner today. 130 laps completed.
Damn.
How
Well,
many laps did we complete?
we completed 112.98.
Looks like we got some angry people in the chat.
I'm trying to back up to see what he was doing.
All right, final thoughts for killing the stream.
Everybody did a really good job.
Yeah, it was fun. Now we know where we are.
Yeah. The ending, the
Good job,
beginning
Rick.
was really solid. The first 2 hours were really solid. That last hour just kind of sloppy and thrown all over the place.
So we just got disqualified.
Yep, that's my bad.
Yeah, all good.
Good job to everyone. It was a lot of fun watching it. Always never get to interact with you guys, so it's really fun being able to interact with you guys this way. And it was fun watching you guys race and being on the track and with the wipeouts and getting bumped from the back and all that. It's been fun. Great job to everyone. Hopefully, Mark, you get your internet working.
The strength of
Wages.
field was 1885.
Man.
Yeah, there was just one split.
So on that note,
My road iRating is 1183 anyway, going into that.
My road I rating was 880, so yeah.
So for anybody watching, that's what we were up against.
Yeah.
Is it amazing
Oh,
for that?
I'm Class B road now. I just got promoted to Class B.
Nice. Good job.
Let's go.
Congrats.
So now I'm Class B oval and Class B road.
all right. That should do it for today here. Thanks for watching FR
I
Racing's
just
Endurance
need to
Team.
grind and get my I rating up.
Turn that off.
Hop on those Miatas, man. Those are that's how I got mine up.
So
Doing
we'll be back in
the
some
Sim
form
Lab challenge,
probably
and then
next week.
Advanced MX5, whatever. That one is in the B class, or excuse me, C
So-
class.
So I'm looking at this. We had a 17x on the incident count. The winner was at 23. Second was 10, 19, 13, 24, 12, 12, 1, 4, 12, 23, 24, 26, 16, 9, 17, 22. That's 317.
So the leading.
All right.
Like,
That's it. Thanks for
one of the
watching.
highest incident
We'll
counts.
see you next week.
Cool. I only got